Welcome to another episode from the Monthly Experts. In Gamen handles cost and operations. It's my overbring for operations, Sruly Schonfeld, the business organizer. The business organizer helps businesses organize their businesses. In the Marang meer in details it and how he does it. And it's Gamen discussing on a monthly basis operations. I'm very excited. Sruly's a good guy. Vind veel kennen to the point. And people know him already, but vertel meer van hem het naar yourself. So I want to dive in, and so as you know, this is like a short, it's a kort dag, 10 minutes max. We're already a minute around, so yeah, let's dive in. So the eerste topic was gewoon discussen, en ik meen one of the schwerste topics was mind healthy operations.
Beautiful. Scott, much for having me. Let's dive straight into it. So, when it comes to healthy operations, one of the greatest mistakes was geschehen in businesses is als Menschen reden sich an als healthy operations is specifically tailored for eine besatte company mit 50 Menschen. Oder 100 Menschen, 150 Menschen. But bei ASM, healthy operations is a Sache, was is necessary. Dus je gericht bist a one-man band oder du hast a company for 50 employees. The minute du a company, is es mehr wie a koelige man, was verkauft heraus für so schwieriges Basement, darf reinkommen mit der Heilig für seine healthy operation within the business.
Okay, let's elaborate for a second. Let me just as I should understand understand what you're saying, but can we say from Finven wusste the dollar amount was a Mensch ohne mal reinkicken. Wenn ein Mensch $20,000 unit sales or $100,000 unit sales, he shouldn't look to hire someone to organize his business. Wenn ein $1 million, wenn ein $200,000, das ist ein Dollar amount.
Correct. The guys package is a little different. I assume basically as operations. So my personal experience the past 4 years doing this is when it comes to operations, or by mention is overset as zusammen properly organized in terms of alles was geschehen in the back end of the company. Got this block on vision. So it doesn't make a difference is on dollar amount is by $50,000 in sales a year or about $10,000. So how to with the back end responsibilities being properly organized, being properly set up. This is ultimately what brings dich to the plots and can achieve to income to any dollar amount of sales. So ultimately, to answer your question, it's important from day one, technically.
100%, because let's say if your goal is to double your business or 10x your business, if you're not going to be organized, guys nicht kennen Team. Then Philip the guys kennen Team, guys die arbeiten 20 mal schwerer wegen business organized.
Time and again here the concept for mention the minute gaan we organized, whether much get in alliance much get in met dat zweiten, the minute gaan we organized we can't reach my vision. Actually, you can take over and creativity and focus on waxing the business instead of I'm busy with, let's call it nitty gritty stuff. Other film is one-man band, my arbeit properly organized in terms of Nijan spinning and chaos as I'm so.
100%. And I got to see like noch a point, zoekst a mensch Tina lines versus genitzt einem. Jeder kan alles Tina lines, and I believe if overheid one team plumbing alliance guys kennen team, but ich gehe noch arbeiten Sachen schwer, it's going to take me much longer, and overall that must cost mehr Geld. So sag mal, was gibt sie diese Sachen, is wert for anything. Es gibt sie viele Marketing, Finances, Organization, Growth, Coaching, so wird sie tun, der $1, it takes you a far way versus a Steen Alliance.
Absolutely agree with that, and sometimes you could hear it from people. Ich glaube, die heißt es mit deinen customers auch nicht, but ich habe es particularly gehabt mit der Customer, was ich geredet von dem, the number was that increased in revenue in 2025, you can shaking a number based on what the average in Zan industry is. So it's not necessarily an expense, it's in terms of an investment of actually on the right track.
100%. And I can say the same thing goes to finances, but when we come into a company and we make sure they're profitable, it's an investment, and the investment goes sehr schnell. If it's the right fit, versteht sich. Ob die hast noch problems nicht kennen das, and I believe the same thing comes when it comes to a business organization. Very nice. Okay, let's go back to business organization. So the number one concept is you should start from day one. Second concept.
Absolutely. Second concept is ich habe eigentlich Menschen fragen mich das alles. So du chaos in the business. So kannst du immer so confidently as nicht ein people issue, no it's an issue in terms of episode operations. Sehr interessante Sache, was geschehen, das sagt man, man setzt sich weg mit der Arbeiter, und ich habe es literally, ich kenne es auf a weekly basis, ich frage ihn, wo ist dann Job Description der Company, wo ist die geworden gehired für? Der Mensch, der 10 fällt immer raus, he has no idea. Ich weiß eine Sache, als whenever man Babus is overwhelmed with a specific task, T at days, T at Jens, T days, T at off, T at off. What ends up happening is when you come proper systems, when you come proper job description for the mensch, for the hires, and at the same time, a step back. For a mensch actually hired the arbiter, to have a clear vision, who's hired him for. And ich suche so Sachen for bottom companies, and so schießen aus. Ich suche, wenn ich suche a job description, it's just as important as the owner of a business to have a job description for yourself, just as you need a job description for your employee. Otherwise, what ends up happening is, man hat nur reincrashen an, und der zweite, die weiß nicht, was die willst von dem, die weiß nicht, was die willst von der Arbeit, der Arbeit weiß, was die willst von ihm. So when I'm saying it's not a people's issue, usually it's an operations issue. What ends up happening is when you sit down, yes, sometimes it is a people's issue. But when you sit down with a company and you're starting to break it down in small pieces, oh, I didn't even know, or I didn't even tell them to do that. Oh, seriously? So how could you expect that your investment, again, an employee is not an expense if it's the right hire, it's an investment. So how could you expect that this investment should be worthwhile for you if he doesn't even have a clear vision on what he's going to do?
Sehr stark, and I see like for them in man personal professional opinion, I would say most of the time, I would say 100% of the time, but most of the time when an employee nicht geht für eine lange Zeit an sie, kommt es von upper management, nicht von den Employees out. Jeder Employee, rough employees, they want to be good, und sie wollen ein Team, was sie davon zu tun. Sag mal, weißen sein nicht und das, und sag mal, geben ein bisschen helfen, und sag mal, geben ein Patch, und sag mal, geben ein Glätt. But most of the time it comes from upper management, where it's daran as an judieren, organized. Jeder Arbeiter darf dienen. Der Babus und Arbeiter sollen schrieg einer Zeit und zurücken. Druckt es to next level.
Very proud to say, I want to add a little point to that. I'm very proud to say that ich weiß into the industries, since I'm du sagst, sag mal Menschen, was kommen around. The first thing is to fire people. I'm very proud to say that in most instances, when I come into a company, we can actually help Menschen, was man schon viele geholfen haben, so müssen wir gesießen. Because you didn't even give them the proper opportunity. Again, it's not a general rule, but if you didn't give them the proper opportunity to succeed, obviously you can't have the right expectations.
It's a longer conversation, and I think we have 10 minutes here today, and this is our experts, but next time we'll talk to them to bring you up on a podcast. One of the conversations that we're going to discuss over there is how to fire and when to fire, and it's a great conversation and something that was me dacht misschien gaan helpen met. En zij, ik kijk zo naar, I got fired, I'm vorige week employee, part of my job is zeg maar, so I'm fired, but sorry, this doesn't work, had sloegen. En ik ben zei, ongewijtig, whatever. Aber, was ik gezien is, als zij van employees uit, als zij van employers uit, fehlt am sugar understanding, wieso man feiert und wenn man da feiern. En employee darf auch verstehen, dass wenn der Job nicht für dich, you don't want to be there.
Absolutely.
So you can do great. Ich hatte gerade gefeiert and I offered them 2 more jobs within the same week because ich hatte gesagt, der Employee, er hat planisch gemacht für die Seat, was sitzt. And it geht gar nicht in eine andere Seat, es geht dann sehr successful. Whatever. So we're going to discuss that. Let's go back to organizing businesses. Next steps, Sruly.
The next is having early warnings in a company of unhealthy operations. Zara sagt, is do from a million other angles you can say is do unhealthy operations. I'm also when we kicked off a P&L sheet, which in general, commission finance, but I highly encourage if I'm an business, my other company, I'm doing it as well. You sit with a P&L sheet once a month. I'm a late dollar, la half later of half of dollars, you late dollar gestikel gemoede. But when we kick dollar a P&L sheet in detail, Zara sagt, man kann sein Daten. Zara sagt, man sieht of customer complaints, man sieht a decrease in sales, man sieht in terms of work, völlig about team, I'm noch alles busy mit nitty-gritty stuff. Oder ich bin busy arbeiten von 7 in der Früh bis 10 in der Nacht. Seriously, was bezahlst du für ein Team of arbeitslos aktuell? Are you maximizing your employees? So du sagst like different angles and we're having early warning signs, was es kommt daran, was man kann sagen, das ist actually a warning signal. Es do die basic Sachen, was man kann sagen, revenue geht darauf, der Arbeitsextra Issues darf sich arbeiten, employees are sitting empty, job descriptions nicht properly organized mit free gerät. But these are basics. If I have to touch it in a 10-minute talk, these are basics that I would touch on, that it should be an eye-opener to see if there is an early warnings in terms of, as well as I forgot the main point, which is customer frustration, which is also a very, very big point. But these are early warnings.
I ga sagen, what it's sogar sag, and I get I get a little bad feedback in them, but sehr stark. That's the only thing that I can say. And I add noch gesagt, as a company that for employees, arbeiten consistency, bis 7, 8 und 8, und companies haben das, is other episodes wrong with the employee, other episodes wrong with the company, and you need to look into it and you need to stop it immediately. Get the arbiter, fuck the roles in the office, 6 eigen, he knows everything is done. Was kennen já andando, que te dizer dos. Amua eu amua gooi dus daarvoor arbeid naar zo langer, it's okay. What on a daily consistent basis to work was 8 o'clock. Other can I say we can check the shalom bias, which is an extra conversation.
It's an early sign of shalom bias. There you go.
Ja, zeg het. Ik zoek eigenlijk van mensen. Ik ben nog geen therapist, maar ik ga daar toch in mijn eind.
Listen, ben de bezorgd.
Ja. Zeg ik klaar, we're 10 minutes is up. So, and ik wil het niet langer. I enjoyed this conversation, Sruly, and I think it's a great topic.
Sure.
Is een van de sterkste zaken. Of de nood zeg als nog een zegt, then maybe we should put it in like this. It's organic. But yeah, let's wrap it up.
Very, very fast. If you don't mind, just why ignoring operations works until it doesn't work. I'll literally make it in 1 minute because usually a lot of times people feel like being in denial is helping them. I'll just shove it under the rug. I'll say it in one word. If you have something that's bothering you, do not throw it under the rug. Weinisch morgen, als darfst schade schnei von 2 Mal muss gefallen schnei, no schade schnei hand, dann save the extra arbeit. But as you said, I don't want to go over the time, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Sruly Schonfeld, for coming. And please like, comment, subscribe, and looking forward. 10 more to come, and great topics ahead. And looking forward. So much luck, Sruly.
Likewise, let's look it up.
Bye.
Sagen Sie bye.